Jonah Platt, whose father helped produce the latest Snow White film, had some very harsh words for star Rachel Zegler.
For context, Variety wrote a report recently titled Inside Disney's Snow White Fiasco, Beefed Up Security, and a Social Media Guru for Rachel Zegler. I am in the thick of rehearsals for Romeo plus Juliet, so I'm going to get out of here. Bye for now. Variety story notes how a couple of minutes after posting this, she replied to her own tweet and wrote, "And always remember, free Palestine."
Variety breaks down how after this tweet went viral, the studio was shocked that she would mix a promo tweet with a political statement. As a result, Mark Platt flew to New York to speak with her in person.
It's official. This ain't just some behind-the-scenes mess anymore. This just turned into an all-out legal showdown. Leaked documents and insider chatter are blowing the lid off what's really going down. Rachel Zegler is getting hit with a lawsuit from the producers of the Evita revival, and the accusations, straight up wild. The complaint dives into claims that she purposely caused chaos during rehearsals, wrecked the show's image in public, and even triggered some serious money losses tied directly to her behavior while on set. Word is, Rachel didn't just have beef with the director. She wasn't just storming out of rehearsals or tossing props like it was nothing. The suit says she broke key rules laid out in her contract. Clear as day. Now, the folks who backed this whole production want every dime they spent. And then some. One insider, reportedly close to the legal team, spilled that the producers are coming for major damages. Not just for all the missed rehearsals and delays, but for what they're calling a violation of conduct expectations that cost them big, from sponsors to press coverage to media deals. And guess what? It goes even deeper. The document itself hasn't gone public yet, but insiders are already spilling the tea. Word is it lays out a whole timeline of warnings that were given to Rachel before she got the boot. We're talking missed calls, ignored orders, and straight-up unprofessional behavior, all reportedly logged by the production team.
Studios really need to go back to what they originally did, which was tell your stars to shut up and not say things, because no one is paying to hear your star say offensive things off the screen.
Now those same receipts are being flipped and used against her in court. This bombshell hits just days after rehearsal footage leaked, hinting that Rachel had been quietly swapped out of the show. And right after that, another leak dropped, this one exposing the director's private notes, calling her a nightmare to work with. Fans thought that was the end of the drama. But nope, with lawyers stepping in and contracts being pulled apart, the whole situation has exploded. This ain't gossip anymore, and it's something way bigger. We're talking about careers on the line, reputations hanging by a thread, and big money involved. According to the alleged lawsuit, Rachel's behavior may have broken the very core of what her role required, and if even a slice of what's written in those documents is real, this could be a game changer, and not just for Evita, but for Rachel's whole future in the business. So how did we even get here? What exactly did she do that pushed the producers to this breaking point? And is Rachel gearing up to clap back in court? Time to break down the timeline, because this legal chaos didn't pop off overnight. The cracks started showing way before the lawsuit even hit. Landing the lead in the Evita revival was supposed to be Rachel's big break, a career-defining role that would lock her in as Hollywood royalty. Producers hyped it up as a bold, game-changing move, a fresh face taking on a legendary West End part. Fans were promised something visionary, something that would flip the script and bring new energy to the stage. But instead of a blockbuster comeback, it turned into a slow burn disaster. The first signs, quiet whispers from behind the scenes. Insiders claim Rachel was beefing with the creative team, brushing off direction and either showing up late or skipping rehearsals altogether. Then came the breaking point, an alleged blow-up during a full cast run-through. She reportedly refused to finish the scene and had to be escorted out by security after yelling at the director in front of the whole cast. 1 week later, things hit the fan. The internet blew up with leaked rehearsal clips. And the real shocker? A blurry video showing a completely different actress in Rachel's role during what looked like a private rehearsal. The message was clear, she was already being swapped out and the team didn't want anyone to know. But that clip wasn't the end. What came next was even messier. Private director notes hit the internet, and they were brutal. Rachel was called combative, disruptive, and straight up toxic to the cast's vibe. That flipped the whole story. What started as fan rumors suddenly had serious weight behind it. This was insider confirmation. Right after that, Rachel disappeared from the spotlight. No statement, no apology, not even a hint of explanation. Just silence. Meanwhile, chaos was brewing behind the scenes. Sponsors started backing out, press coverage turned ugly, and producers, who had been keeping quiet, reportedly started building a full-blown case.
Rachel Zegler has finally responded to all the Snow White backlash she's been receiving. And you won't believe this, but she allegedly apologized for her rude comments. She said that it was never her intention to come off as ungrateful after those videos started going viral.
Never wanted to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have.
And even gave a speech saying how playing the role of Snow White is such a big dream for her, and that she's always been a big fan of Disney. However, just a few weeks ago, she was saying nearly the complete opposite.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again.
And even closes off by saying that she's the most grateful person alive, but she just wants to keep it real.
I am the most grateful person alive, but I'm also keeping it.
And people in the comments had a lot to say. Many thought that she was just saying sorry because news sources lately have been predicting that the movie will not do well in the box office due to her unlikability, as well as others saying that this whole thing was orchestrated by her PR team, and others saying that her switching up is crazy.
They collected every red flag, missed rehearsals, ignored instructions, and all the backstage drama. And now, sources close to the legal team say the case is moving full speed ahead. What started as gossip is now turning into a courtroom showdown, and it's all tied to a contract the producers claim Rachel broke. But what exactly did that contract say? What rules did she allegedly ignore? And how deep could the fallout really go? According to multiple leaks, Rachel's deal with the Evita revival wasn't some basic actor contract. It had tight performance rules, behavior standards, and the biggest one, a morals clause. That's the clause producers are reportedly using to come after her hard. This isn't just about missed lines or late arrivals. It's about a legal hammer that could change everything for her. Let's break this down, the morals clause. It's a powerful part of high-level entertainment contracts that gives producers the right to cut ties or sue if a performer's behavior, whether public or private, and drags bad attention onto the production. These clauses usually sit untouched. But in Rachel's case, insiders say it's the core of the entire lawsuit. Leaked details from the legal filing claim Rachel crossed several lines. They say she refused to follow the director's instructions during rehearsals, wrecked the show's image after viral backstage leaks, messed with the group dynamic by giving unsolicited notes to other actors, and skipped mandatory rehearsals more than once. One of the wildest claims, she allegedly screamed at staff during a live run-through, and the producers didn't hold back. One line from the complaint reportedly reads, "Despite repeated efforts to accommodate Ms. Zegler's concerns, her behavior resulted in material delays and reputational harm to the production, sponsors, and creative team." But this drama doesn't stop with missed call times. Another huge piece of the puzzle, Rachel's behavior before rehearsals even kicked off. Remember that viral Snow White interview where she criticized the original movie and laughed about not needing a prince? According to insiders, that clip came back to haunt her. It allegedly got flagged in early talks with West End marketing teams, and some of them were already worried about her unpredictable media presence. So now it's not just about what she did on stage, it's about what she said off stage too.
Do you have a terrible audition experience?
I do. I do have a terrible audition
What is
experience. I was actually, oddly enough, auditioning for a Broadway show of a very famous Broadway musical that was having a revival, and the producers and directors were ordering lunch while I was singing.
What?
It was so
Like,
horrible.
actually, while you were singing a song?
Yeah.
Would
I
you-
booked
would
West
you-
Side Story a week later, though.
Those concerns about Rachel's media image, apparently they were flagged during her contract review, and now producers are pointing to that exact moment as proof she was a PR risk before rehearsals even started. But it doesn't stop there. Let's talk cash. Rachel was allegedly paid up front, possibly 6 figures, to lock in her lead role and represent the show at press events and early previews. But after getting pulled from rehearsals and watching the show's reputation take a hit from viral leaks, producers now want that money back. They're claiming she didn't hold up her end of the deal. The rumored damages? Somewhere between £250,000 and £500,000. And that's before adding in the fallout, lost sponsors, rebooking a new lead, and the full cost of cleaning up the mess. One anonymous source didn't hold back, saying she didn't just walk out, she torched the entire campaign. And now, they want every penny back.
Now suing Disney Studios after her bomb of a movie Snow White. According to reports, she's allegedly pursuing action for wrongful termination, gender discrimination, and defamation. She's claiming that Disney and other studios like Sony, Paramount, and Lionsgate have removed her from projects which she was already contracted for. It is very clear that things with her in the studio are not good right now.
Here's where it gets really intense. Insiders say the producers have the receipts. Call sheets, rehearsal logs, email threads, internal memos, legal timestamps, a whole paper trail showing when things went south and how Rachel allegedly ignored every red flag tossed her way. And if those docs ever see the light of day, this could go from messy to straight up unrecoverable. But wait, there's one more twist. Rachel Zegler isn't folding. Word is her team's cooking up something big, a countersuit that could flip this entire scandal on its head. Let's dive into what that could look like, because this legal battle might just be getting started. This lawsuit ain't about bruised egos, it's about damage. And according to several insiders, the Evita producers believe Rachel Zegler cost them everything. People close to the show say it got so out of control, the entire financial structure almost fell apart. What started as a multi-million-pound revival of one of the most iconic musicals in theater history turned into a full-blown PR nightmare, a rehearsal disaster, and a media frenzy, all before opening night. And now, the producers are reportedly done playing nice.
Because, I mean, you seem to be dominating the world of musicals. You're doing Evita in London, right?
Big Andrew Lloyd Webber fan right over there.
Was that your dad whistling?
Yeah. You guys see Stanley Tucci back there?
That'll be fun, huh?
It's gonna be the best time. It's my West End debut. I'm so excited.
You've done a lot of Broadway.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did Shakespeare for 20 weeks. I'm coming off of that right now.
20 weeks of Shakespeare.
That's a lot.
Did they say like the audiences in England are different than the American audience?
I've heard they're more reserved, and I certainly didn't have a very reserved experience on Broadway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were in a very, an 800-seat theater in the round, so you really are this close to your audience at times. And I'm with the biggest heartthrob in the...
We're busy, of course, at Evita opens at the Palladium this summer, so we're collaborating with Jamie Lloyd again following Sunset Boulevard. Well, Rachel was desperate to play Eva Perron. You know, it was her idea, and we saw an audition tape.
One insider described a closed-door production meeting where execs laid everything on the table. Timelines, incidents, receipts. They allegedly traced the collapse of the whole production back to one name, Rachel Zegler. So, what finally pushed them to sue? Insiders say it came down to three major events. First, the viral backstage meltdown. Rachel was allegedly escorted out after screaming at the director in front of the whole cast. That moment shattered the crew's morale, triggered walkouts, and caused massive delays. Second, the leaked rehearsal video showing a replacement actress in Rachel's role. That clip lit up headlines worldwide and made the production look unstable before it even began. Third, the leaked director notes. They labeled Rachel combative, toxic, and a nightmare. These comments weren't supposed to go public, but once they hit the internet, the producers lost control of the entire story. From a business angle, this wasn't just messy, it was catastrophic. It got expensive, fast. Sponsors reportedly backed out. Promo deals were put on ice. Major media outlets started pulling press access. And ticket pre-sales? They took a hit as fans began to wonder if the show was even gonna survive the madness. Behind the scenes, producers were in full-blown scramble mode, trying to restructure rehearsals, quietly replace Rachel without setting off more outrage, and totally rework their marketing plan. All while battling nonstop leaks, fan backlash, and a press that was growing more suspicious by the day. Now they're going after compensation. Insiders say the producers believe Rachel knowingly broke her contract and caused serious financial damage to the production. and they want more than just an apology. They're reportedly trying to recover their losses and send a loud message. You don't blow up a West End show and just walk away clean. But here's the twist. Rachel Zegler's team isn't folding either. Behind all the silence, the tight-lipped NDAs, and the legal whispers, something's brewing. A countersuit that could flip this whole mess upside down. While producers are stacking their case, Rachel's camp is quietly gearing up to fire back. Word from multiple sources in the entertainment legal circle, she's ready to hit back with her own lawsuit. Insiders tied to her team say Rachel believes she was set up to fail, unfairly targeted, and maybe even pushed out on purpose after speaking up about creative problems early on. One source even claims she described the rehearsal environment as hostile, cold, and isolating. And another insider linked to her management says the tension started way before the public ever saw it. Word on the street is that Rachel might hit back with claims of emotional mistreatment, public defamation, and even constructive dismissal, especially if producers try to say she walked away on her own. Her team could argue that those leaked director notes and rehearsal clips weren't just shady. They were a hit job meant to destroy her image, and a straight-up violation of her own contract protections. If that's true, Rachel's camp might flip the script and accuse the producers of breaking the contract first by failing to keep things confidential and not providing a safe, professional environment. Some legal voices on social media are already saying this could spiral into a total legal brawl, a mutual destruction mess where both sides accuse each other of contract violations. And here's what's got fans buzzing. Rachel's gone totally silent. No tweets, no stories, no interviews, not a word. But that might not be random. Reports say her legal team told her to stay off social media while they handle things behind the scenes. That could explain why her once loud online presence has vanished lately. But with a rumored legal response loading, Rachel might be getting ready to speak up. Not with a PR post, but with a lawsuit of her own. And while the lawyers go to war and the filings stay sealed, the internet ain't waiting around. Fans have already started picking sides, and they're going all in. As soon as the rumors dropped, the internet exploded. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, Instagram, every corner of the web lit up with one headline: she's getting sued. And just like that, the reaction split right down the middle, and things are getting nastier by the second. On one side, Rachel's ride or die supporters. They're calling this lawsuit a hit job, a full-on setup to wreck her career before she could bounce back.
Exclusive. Branding experts warn that Rachel Zegler backlash could ruin Disney's big-budget Snow White remake and predict executives will be having crisis talks in order to win back fans ahead of the 2024 release. Rachel Zegler has been running amok and talking all about this new role that she will be playing as Snow White and how it has been reimagined.
It's no longer 1937.
And people are pissed, right? Because she's playing this iconic role and she's talking about how the movie is dated.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago. It's extremely dated.
It needs to be redone. Snow White is not going to be
saved by the prince.
And she's in fact going to be a girl boss feminist who don't need no man.
She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
I don't think Disney anticipated that it really has a deep and strong emotional place in their childhoods and throughout their lives. And maybe that film from 1937 did not need to be reimagined.
One viral post on X with over 90,000 likes read, "They replaced her, trashed her name, and now they're suing her." This is straight up career assassination. Meanwhile, a TikTok edit, set to a dramatic soundtrack, shows Rachel rehearsing, spliced with cuts from the leaked memo and the bold caption, "You don't hate her, you hate that she wouldn't bow down." That clip alone hit nearly 3 million views in just 2 days. But on the flip side, people are fed up. Over on Reddit's r/West End Theater thread, the top comment read, "Actions have consequences. This wasn't a mistake. It was sabotage from within." Dozens of users jumped in, saying Rachel got chance after chance, got paid up front, and still managed to tank a major production. Some are even saying she should be blacklisted from future stage work, dragging in not just Evita, but even her Snow White controversy as proof of what they call chronic diva behavior. And then there's the wildest part, the conspiracy crowd. Amateur internet sleuths are now digging through old interviews, trying to piece together what really went down. Now people are digging deep. Old tweets, behind-the-scenes clips, press tour interviews, hunting for proof that Rachel's always been difficult to work with. Some are pointing back to her Snow White press run, saying that was the warning sign, and Evita, just the final straw. The comment sections are brutal, and it's not just random fans shouting anymore. It's a full mix. Theater kids, industry insiders, gossip blogs, and media analysts all throwing in their takes. Some say Rachel deserves grace and a second shot, but others are saying she's already burned through every chance she had. And through all of it, Rachel Zegler said nothing. No denial, no apology, no statement at all. Just radio silence, while the internet keeps arguing over whether she's the villain or the victim in this whole mess. But that debate might not stay online for long. Because if this lawsuit goes public and those court docs leak, the receipts will do all the talking. And depending on what they show, this could affect way more than just this production. If the allegations are proven in court, Rachel Zegler's career could take a hit she might never recover from. This isn't tabloid fluff anymore. It's contract violations, possible legal damages, and a paper trail that could follow her for years. And in showbiz, reputation's everything. Producers talk, studios pay attention, and scandals like this, they can quietly lock doors before you even walk into the room, without anyone ever saying a word. One Hollywood executive speaking off the record to an entertainment blogger didn't hold back. Studios don't want lawsuits, they want stability. This kind of baggage, it's a red flag. Even if Rachel fights back and wins, the damage might already be done. Just having her name tied to this kind of drama could shake up casting decisions and kill brand deals on the spot. Especially with Disney's Snow White remake already deep in its own PR mess. The timing for all this couldn't be worse. And when it comes to theater, West End insiders say the backlash from Evita might make other stage directors think twice before bringing Rachel onto big ensemble productions. One casting agent didn't sugarcoat it. It's not just about talent anymore, it's about the risk you walk in with. It also doesn't help that Rachel's once celebrated public image, confident, bold, outspoken, is now being flipped into something else. Defiant, reckless, and disruptive. And the longer this legal battle drags on, the more that version of her sticks in people's minds. So what happens now? It all comes down to what's exposed. If Rachel pulls off a big legal win or a strategic comeback, she might be able to rewrite the story. But if the leaks keep spilling and court records back up the producer's claims, this won't just be a stain on her resume. It could freeze her career cold. And here we are. What started out as whispers behind the curtain has exploded into full-blown legal warfare. Rachel Zegler, once hailed as the fresh face of a bold new Evita revival, is now allegedly facing a lawsuit that could cost her hundreds of thousands, and maybe even everything she's worked for. The producers aren't backing down, not even a little. They're claiming Rachel Zegler broke her contract, tanked their entire production, and turned a legacy musical into a full-blown PR disaster. They've got the receipts, the legal team, and according to insiders, they're ready to take this all the way to court. But Rachel, she might not be going down without a fight. The whispers are getting louder. Talk of a countersuit, claims of mistreatment behind the scenes, and even legal retaliation coming from her side. If that's true, we're looking at what could become one of the most explosive theater scandals in recent memory. The silence from both camps, it's deafening. The pressure, off the charts. And the next move, it could drop any second. Maybe a leaked court filing, maybe a hush-hush settlement, or maybe Rachel finally breaking her silence in the loudest, most public way possible. Whatever happens, you do not want to miss it. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and smash that notification bell to stay locked in. This story isn't cooling off. If anything, it's just getting hotter. And the next twist, it might just flip this whole thing on its head. See you on the next one.